Hi guys, how's everyone doing? Well, I've got mail. I've got fucking mail. Where the fuck's the mailbox? Maily. What have I got for my professions? Have I forgotten my professions are? Probably. Skinning. Skinning and herbing, yep. And then we're going to switch skinning out at level 64 alchemy. Because then I can go around and collect all the herbs. Making sure VSync disabled. I hate that fucking thing. I don't know why VSync is even still a thing in games, I really don't. It must be for like your proper dog shit computers. Because all it does is make things worse. Oh yes, monies! I've got monies! I can buy abilities, I've got 38 silver! I'm a fucking cash fiend! Like the Hellbroker vanilla. Let's have a look at this. What? Probably not quite that fucking big a bag or something. Bo fucking Jesus. Even that's an 8-slot bag. 54 silver, you robbing sacks of shit. That one's only 10. That's not too bad. That one's 7. That one's 3. Oh, I can buy a 3 silver bag. Buy me that one. Yeah, just buy one. See, the best part about having gathering professions in Classic were you didn't have to level up to, like, learn new things to craft like you do your crafting profs. You've just got to level it up when you reach the next skill bracket. Because you have the... fucking hell, what are they called now? Does it even show them on this? I don't know if it shows them on this, does it? I don't think it does. Oh no, it does there. There it is. So like you've got 15 to 75 is like your novice tier sort of thing. Then I think 70, I think you can get it early. You get the next tier up, which then sends it up to like I think 125 or 150. And they're all the ones you've got to pay for. Where if you have a crafting profession, you've got to pay for all the recipes in between that you want as well to help level up your profession. So crafting professions are fucking super expensive. So if you're playing vanilla, advice to anyone, take 2 gathering professions. You can't track 2 at the same time, so probably don't take mining and herbing. Take one or the other, and then take skinning. And basically just do that all the way to 60. Make yourself a shitload of cash so you can buy like epic mount and stuff like that. And then switch one of them out to a crafting profession. Or both if you want to take something completely different. That's a first aid then, isn't it? Have we got? We haven't got first aid though, have we? Oh, God, you've got lovely weapon skills as well, haven't you? Then again, I won't have to. I'm playing a warlock. I'm in about. I'll probably still only hit chance though. Mailbox. Give me the fucking bag. like a secondary bag so I can carry my important shit in it that I actually need to keep. Quest item, yeah, pop that in there. Health, yeah. Got any of those presently. Put that there for the time being. Put that one in there. Put that one in there. There we go. We've got just that stuff we've gathered. Makes a little bit more space. Even a tiny bag. One way to get I'm pretty sure they have them, but I'm not entirely sure. It might have been a TBC thing, but I think it was. I think you could get them in vanilla.
How may I help?
Do they have like a reputation person? If they do, I don't know where the fuck they are. Well, in fact, no. Is she not up here? Because one thing, for worse than someone after Vindaloo, well, as it happens, this morning, Overlord, I just had a chicken madras. Because I had half last night, and the portions are that generous, that I had the other half this morning with the naan bread. So I made sure I've got food in me before the stream so I don't feel crap. But I hope you start to feel better, brother. Last night I was bossing it in delves. I did, apparently I'd already done a tier 1 delve. I think you do that with Brand to begin with. And then I did a tier 2 delve, a tier 3 delve, a tier 4 delve, a tier 5 delve, and then a tier 6 delve. The tier 6 delve, the boss had 30 million health. Did die twice on the boss. So the first time it reset completely. The second time I hit the soul stone, so I got back up before the boss could reset, and the boss only had 4% health left. So then me and Bran killed the boss, and yeah, I was quite pleased with myself considering at the time I had like 540 item level, and I was in a delve where you should have been 587 item level. So I was 47 item levels below what it said I recommended, and I still killed it. It's like, get fucked. Don't just about a warlock. What am I doing here? Oh, we've got to that again, haven't we? Yeah. Spectre, my handsome friend. Hello, Cosmo. How you doing? How's your day going, my brother? Happy Sunday to you. You as well, my brother. I'm going to have a Sunday roast later on with my missus. She cooks banging food. Roast chicken. Fucking corn on cob with butter on it. Oh, it's delicious. We're having mash or roasties today, darling. Hello?
Roasties.
Yeah! I love roasties. My favourite.
I was trying to decide what to have.
I prefer roasties. You know what I mean? Spectre talking food to me. Dude, I just had a chicken madras this morning. I had to finish off my takeaway from last night. But the place we get them from, they're like restaurant quality food, but you don't pay restaurant quality prices. And the portions are that big, I can only eat half. My ability to eat a lot of food got severely gimped after I had COVID. I had COVID and I didn't eat anything for 11 days and it almost killed me. So luckily I recovered, and but my appetite never did. My appetite's never been quite the same, so I can't eat as much as I used to. I've tried forcing myself sometimes, see if I can like expand the size of my stomach, but it's having none of it. I think that 11 days damaged me in ways that cannot be healed. Jesus Christ, Overlord. Overlord just gifted 5 memberships. Hellbroker, Cameron, Repulsify. Oh, other 2, I don't even see them. Or did they come through later? Or did somebody get like double memberships or something? Member hype, indeed. Fucking hell, Hellbroker. Don't you put your side of money, Hellbroker. Bear in mind you've already spent a bloody small fortune on getting me the game time, buddy, you and Jamie. And it's my birthday in like... What day are we on? In 4 days. Forgot what day you were. It's bad, isn't it? Definitely showing my age. Hellbroker, you mean Overlord? Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean, Hellbroker? Huh? Overlord gifted 5 memberships, that's what I said. Did I call you Hellbroker? No, I was talking about Hellbroker afterwards. I mentioned Hellbroker's name because he got gifted one. Hellbroker, Cameron, and Repulsify. I said thank you to you. You gifted five memberships. Although it only shows 3 though for some reason. I don't know why. Is that like a bug? Or does somebody get like 2 of them? Oh, fucking failed attempts on this. And hello, Kyle. How's your day going, brother? No, I definitely called you Overlord, buddy. I just said Hellbrook's the first name that popped up as who got gifted a member. Because you gifted him one, bless him. Which I'm sure he'll be very happy for and thankful for. But thank you very, very much. But yeah, don't go spending all your money, Overlord, because you know how much I've already spent, my brother. I don't want to see you out of pocket. And you got some big gigs coming up in Ireland soon, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, and have you guys heard about the new Joker film? The new Joker film's tanked because they made it into a fucking musical. And I've said they can't do that. You can't change genre. When the first film went to musical and they make it into a musical because they got Gaga to play fucking Harley Quinn, why did they just get an actress? Lady Gaga's not an actress. She's a singer. Let her sing. Don't make it into a musical. That was fucking stupid. No one likes musicals. They're fucking shit. When they used to do like musical episodes on like TV series like Buffy and stuff like that, they had one musical episode. And whenever it came on, it's the only episode that I skipped. I think they even did one once in X-Files. And I skipped that episode as well. I cannot stand musicals. They're absolutely crap content. They really are. Because you're trying to turn TV stuff or movie stuff into music based. Now if it's a musical from the start, completely fine. If you want to go and watch like a musical movie. Or if the entire TV series is based around being a musical. Then that's for the people who are. But when I'm watching X-Files, and in like, I don't know, in season whatever it were, they're a bloody musical, that line. It's like, well, it's not a musical to begin with, so why make it one now? Fucking nobody wants to watch a fucking boring ass musical. I'm okay, thanks you. I was going to have an hour on WoW last night, but I left my laptop charger at work. Oh, fuck my life. Your laptop charger? Can't you just plug it in with a cable into the wall? Or do you mean you left the cable? It's usually the 2 prongs, right? Or the USB connection. Surely you've got more of those around the house. I see a herb. See the little golden dot. What is this fucking thing? There. Left the cable, the actual brick. Oh, really? Suckage. I was on WoW last night, Kyle. I'll be honest, I was on it till about 3:30 in the morning. And I was being a dirty delver. And I did my delves from tier... Well, I'd already done tier 1. You do tier 1 as part of your quest line when you start in the new expansion. But I did tier 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and I soloed them in 5 40 item level greens. And the tier 6 was supposed to be 587 item level. The boss had 30 million health. And I soloed it with Bran. Bran were healing me. And I was dealing the damage.
Farewell.
And I got my biggest crit ever. I got a 634k crit from one attack. And that was without popping my cooldowns. And yeah, when I popped that 634k crit, I ripped aggro off of a fucking Bran. Because Bran got aggro from fucking healing me. And then I ripped aggro off him. But I had to I died twice in that fight. It's the only delve that killed me. I didn't die in any of the first tier 5 delves. If you do up to tier 5 delves in questing greens, it's fucking easy. Easy. You just don't stand in this shit you don't need standing to. The only piece of advice I'll give you guys is, if you pull anything, don't pull it onto stairs. Because when you pull it onto stairs, the marker for their ability on the ground phases into the stairs and you can't see it. So if you can't see it, you can't dodge it, and then you're dead. Because some of them things will one-shot you. But yeah, 30 million health, and I fucking bossed it, so... in questing greens as well. So I think I'm a warlock. I potentially could be quite handy with my DPS. Because killing that would have been probably no small feat in my gear. You'd probably need to be a lot higher gear normally. And then when I completed it, because that was a bountiful delve, I've now got 2 epic items. I've got a 6... I think it's a 606. And I've got a 587. And then I can get another 606 from the vault on Wednesday. Noted, beat Obi-Wan, take the high ground, XP counts for something. Well, actually in this case you wouldn't take the high ground, you take the low ground. Because what I did is, and I almost got killed by it, is I pulled this, like, they're like a mini boss throughout the raid. They've got about 9 million health. And they have one major mechanic, which is they do this frontal cone. And it's like a big rat. Think it like a rat ogre from fucking Warhammer. And I just saw the orange coming out of his feet and I moved the last split second. If it had hit me, it'd have fucking killed me. And it's because he was phasing it into the stairs. So what you want to do is run down onto the flat floor and fight him there. Don't pull him back onto the stairs like I did. I thought I was being smart and I wasn't. I was being stupid. Or if you're going to pull him up the stairs, pull him all the way to the top so he's on the flat ground. Just don't fight any of the mobs on the stairs. Stairs equals bad. Stairs or bricks. Anything like a rock that you can climb up, don't fight on those either, because you have the same problem. Because like, let's say it puts down, oh bollocks, you fucking bastard cat. Nyah! Fire be purged, feline! Eat my whole ass! Oh no, my mana's running out. I don't have this problem in retail. Hang about. Have I got a friend? I've got a friend! Yes! Friend! You may have the fur if you want it. I will give her the fur. Skin at my leisure. Thank you, my love. She just saved my ass. Let me heal. That one. Oh, never mind, one of those. about to say, why is it not saying... I can get him. I suppose tomorrow, toilet running all day. Oh, I feel sorry for you, brother. I do. I was toilet running this morning because at curry last night. But in a good way, though. Not because I'd got, like, poops. Not because I've got the poop toops. What's around here? I can see there's a herb around here somewhere. Where the fuck's my herb? There it is. I love how I get there. Failed attempt. Fucking marvellous. How do you fail to pick a herb? Just yank that bitch out of the ground. What the fuck? Hang about. There's a lightning bolt coming out of a tree's arsehole. The fuck? I'm not being hit by here. I'm running. I'm legging. We're out. We're out. GTFO. Run, Spec. Run, you tiny warlock. Ah! Or resisted. Get fucked. I'm being chased by 2 fucking Ewoks from fucking Star Wars. These fuckers have got superpowers though. In terms of delves though, Kyle, you can solo delves. They're designed to be soloed at least to a certain point. Everyone said tier 8 can't be soloed. So tier 8's probably got more of like a gear curve. I think in my gear now I'd probably struggle to do a tier 7. If the boss had 30 million health in tier 6, it's going to have even more than that in a tier 7. So I'd probably struggle with it until I got some more gear. So I'd probably have to farm like tier 5s or tier 6s for some gear. Tier 5s are quite easy, so they should be okay. Tier 6 is more your upper limit. I'd probably do a tier 6 as like a bountiful delve, but you're only going to bountiful delve if you've got the coffer key. If you haven't got a coffer key, there's no point going down it, really. Oh. The gem!
That's still recharging.
Oh, good in the hood. Let's get the fuck out of here. It's a putty tat. Hey, that was good. Did a little quest for that person. Helped me out. Awesome. If you ever see the stream, Algeria, thank you. Pro, you saved my ass. We're getting double teamed by a fucking cat and a goddamn Ewok. The Ewok from hell. I think it will be a while before I'm at that stage. I'm learning basics, need to figure out keybinds and movement. I said move your mouse. Just move your mouse like I'm doing now. You hold down both mouse buttons. So I've got mine here now. That's all I'm doing. You hold down both mouse buttons at the same time you move. But all my buttons are on my thumb here. The only other buttons that I use, more for retail than this, is QWER, ASDF, and ZXCV. And if you want to put on strafe, put strafe on something like T and Y or G and H. Something that's side by side so you can strafe if you want to strafe. Because strafing can still be handy sometimes. Where backpedaling, you don't need to backpedal unless you're a tank. Tanks backpedal because you walk backwards, which is slower, but you walk backwards, you don't expose your back to the boss. So if you expose your back to the boss, you can't block, dodge or parry, and bosses can land a crushing blow on you. And a crushing blow is the equivalent of a critical strike for a boss. So if they hit you in the back, they could sometimes almost one-shot you. Or at least do a good chunk of your health, like 70-80% of your health in a single hit. So only people who backpedal really are tanks. No one else needs to backpedal.
What brings you here? Goddess, watch over you.
You can also only hold the right mouse button to rotate the character. Yeah, you can, yeah. So, like, you can rotate around like this if need be, but when I'm moving, I just do it on my mouse. So it's almost as if you were playing like a first-person shooter. But rather than having W, A, S, and D as your movement abilities, they're skills. So I'll have them usually along here as skills. So like if I need to later on, where's the thingy? Action bar. Is it action bar 2? Hang on, what have they done here? So that's normally my second action bar. You can see them there, look. So it tells you letters. Q, W, E, R, T, well, I don't know why T, Y are in there for some reason. A, S, D, F. But it's got all these ones in there for some strange fucking reason. I don't know why. I wouldn't use all that. What the fuck has it done that for? Is that... Why has that one even got a binding? I shouldn't need all those anyway. So normally you'd have this. You wouldn't normally need that. I don't know. Is that one actually the extra one, or is that just? Let me just check that. Yeah, I can turn that one off. There we go. It's fine. So normally I would have this: QWER, ASDF, ZXCV. And the idea is it's all on the left side of your keyboard, and I'm not left-handed, so I need it to be as close to my left-hand side as possible. And then you also haven't got to use a modifier. A modifier is when people use like Shift and 1, Alt and 2, Control and 3. You shouldn't need that many abilities where you've got to use a fucking modifier. Because modifiers are actually inefficient. Because you then got to press 2 buttons as opposed to pressing 1. And some people will say, oh, well, I can press 2 just as fast. Actually, you can't. You actually can't. It's scientifically proven that you can't. Because you've got to do 2 motions rather than 1. Now, your muscle memory might get fast. It's still not as fast as pressing 1 button. If you've got to press 2, it is slower. Now, you won't ever need to be quite that quick with your keybinds anyway. It's not like it's a first-person shoot where you're going around a corner and fucking smoking and tiring with people. But you don't need to be that fucking OTT about it. But the reason I use the left-hand side of my keyboard is because, again, I'm not left-handed. My left hand's not that great. And then how I start it is, the abilities that are here, on the left-hand side of this, are the abilities near the top, my QWER. These have got the shorter cooldowns. And as I go along, the cooldowns get longer. And the ones that are down here are usually like your 2, 3, 5 minute cooldown abilities. So you don't accidentally press them. So they're out of the way, but they're there if you need them, in your oh shit moments, or for like pumping big damage, but you don't accidentally press them. So that's how I get used to my bindings. I've done that since I've been doing Gladiator. And one thing that's way more reaction based in this game than PvE is PvP. And if it works in PvP, believe me, you'll cakewalk PvE. Because PvP, you're against another living, breathing, thinking person, and they respond far fucking faster than any of the bosses. So if it works for like gladiatorial arena level, it'll work for this, trust me. In fact, we've already proven it works for this because it did in Nathria. What's my quest log now? Oh, I've got to go and hand that in, So I used keyboard and mouse to controller for the last 20 years. Yeah, obviously it will take some muscle memory. Example is, right, when I got my mouse, my first MMO mouse, my first one was a Razer Naga. I think this one is a different one, actually. It's a different 12-button mouse because I couldn't afford a Naga. Thank you. But when I got my Razer Naga, it said in the manual, it takes about 18 to 24 hours to learn. I think I learnt it in about 2. I just got used to the buttons where they were. The ones at the back here, like your 10, 11, 12, these ones are a little bit more awkward to press with your thumb, but you get used to it and your thumb gets used to moving in those locations, and it becomes really fucking easy. And what you do is, again, you employ the same method here that I employ up here. You put your core rotation abilities down here, and then as the cooldowns get longer, move them towards the back of your bar. Because if it's got, say, a 30-second cooldown, a 1-minute cooldown, you're not going to be pressing it all the time. It's got quite a long cooldown. The ones down here that have got no cooldown, or that have got a short cooldown, say like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, those you're going to use more frequently. Obviously the ones at this end want to really have no cooldown, and in some cases be like Curse of Weakness here, instant cast. But that's a debuff on the enemy. Later on, I'll probably move that one up here out of the way. There'll be something else there in its place. But it's because at the moment I've only got 3 fucking abilities. Oh, ding-a-ling! Level 9. One more level, and then I'm double digits, and then I can get my first talent point, and then this blank space you see down here, that then gets filled by your talent window. Or should I say, it joins it up here and moves that one down. And then I can choose my spec. I can go into destruction. Wonder when I get my imp. I want my imp. I miss my imp. I mourn for my imp. Northwest. Oh, it'll be up here somewhere. It'll be up there. The amount of times in this game when I've played vanilla, the very first time when I had my Night Elf Warrior, the amount of times I used to die running through an area to explore the map first so I could see it all. I just basically put on my tanking gear that I had, my shield and stuff like that, put in defensive stance and just fucking ran. Such a computer was sounded more simple than DK to keep track of rotation etc. DK is actually simpler than Fury Warrior, in all honesty with you, Kyle. It's actually Fury than all the warriors, in complete honesty. The only difference is with the warrior, is the warrior only has one resource, which is rage, which will build by dealing damage and taking damage, where Death Knights have 2 resources because they have their runes, which is basically like your primary thing, but you use that on your core abilities. They come back really quickly, but then you use your rune abilities to generate your runic power, and your runic power is then your spender, where rage is the spender for warriors. But warrior isn't complex. It's just more complex than, say, like a DK. Well, at least I'm not sure on Frost because I've not played Frost in a long time, and Frost has changed quite a bit. But it's more complex than an Unholy DK. Unholy DK is quite simple because Unholy DK is basically like a melee version of a hunter. You're basically empowering your pet. Your pet is in a goal, and then you can morph them into an abomination. Like every 45 seconds for like I think 20 or 30 seconds, and your pet can do some nasty fucking damage. And because pets in this take reduced damage from things like bosses and stuff, your pets don't generally die, at least not often, so they'll stay alive through things that would kill players. Otherwise people won't bother taking pet classes because they'd be completely useless. It's kind of like in Last Epoch. In Last Epoch, any minions flat off the board, not including any armor, anything like that, take 50% less damage from all sources. So by taking half the damage, instantly your minions have got wingless viability. I don't think it's quite the same in World of Warcraft, but they do get like a hefty damage decrease on your pets. Otherwise, they just get smoked because your pets don't generally have that much health compared to the player. Unless it's like a tanking pet. Like if I get a Void Walker, that's my version of a tanking pet. He can essentially tank. He might have more health than me. Fucking spider. But yeah, simple classes that I know of. Unholy DK, absolutely. Ret Paladin's not overly complex, doesn't have a mountain abilities. Enhancement Shaman's not bad. Probably a bit more complex than those two though. Warlock is good as ranged. At least for Affliction, because I'm playing Warlock as Affliction. I can't imagine Destruction being much different, apart from maybe having more castable things. I'm not sure about Hunter. I'd probably be better off asking Minnie. Minnie might know more about Hunter. Last time I played Shadow Priest, that was quite simple, but again, it might have changed. Because I played Shadow Priest a little bit in BFA. So, that's been a few expansions. So, I don't know. I know at the moment one of the top damage classes is Mage, with Fire or Arcane. But again, I don't know what they're like in terms of abilities and complexity. Mage are probably quite complex, I'd imagine. But again, it depends on... Because mages have also got a lot of utility. It depends on, is their core rotation complex? If the core rotation is not complex, it shouldn't be an issue. It's kind of complex. I suppose it also depends on what you spec into. Because, like, as I said, when I can't show you yet. I'll show you when I get my finger, because I've already thought. In fact, no, I can show you. I can show you something. I can show you guys some stuff. I can. I've got a way to show you. I can show you. Is it on there? Where did I save it? Where is it? Did I actually put it in here? No, it's not in there. Where did I put you, you bastard thing? Are you kidnapping the baby?
Oh, I wondered if she wants to come and sit up here with me on the squish. No, she always does. What, Joe? Don't mind, you can sit here.
She'll probably get round to it. You know, she's like, right, sassy pants.
Are you sassy?
100% she's sassy.
She's adorable.
She is.
I said, turn around and look at Bilbo. Oh, you missed it.
What? Actually, I moved backwards, they moved. She come charging to turn me off. What happened?
He was laid on his back like he were, but with his head like tucked in, with his paws up on his face.
Have you fed these yet?
No.
They need feeding.
Well, I didn't know they needed to be fed. You didn't tell me.
They got fed at 10 o'clock, so it's been over 2 hours. You know what they're like.
I must bow to them.
Our little linebackers that they are.
Yeah, just because you made them that way.
I did not make them that way at all. They were crying at me for food, so I bloody fed them. That's what you do when the animals cry at you, otherwise I go insane.
Ever since you've been at home and you've been doing this on the side,
and they've been demanding little heifers. Literally, every 2 hours you feed them, you turn them into fat heifers.
What, 2.5 to 3 hours, I might add. And sometimes I forget if I get involved in the game, but when they cry at me, you feed them. Because you either want
Abby's
two things.
cat-
You either want food, a
Abby's
scotch, or a
cat-
shit.
Abby's cat, Ori, who's probably 2 times the size as Misty, well, she's older, but still, literally gets fed 1 time a day.
If I fed her 1 time a day, she'd probably murder me in my sleep. I wouldn't wake up the following morning. I'd be snuffed out by a tiny paw. There's no way she's getting fed once a day. She wouldn't let me. That cat loves her food. Other 2 data not showing up. We have to check on your end. Also have 2 two-handers. Sounds nice. 2 two-handers is weird though. 'Cause it's like, picture yourself in real life. I mean, even wielding a sword like the Mountain wielded in Game of Thrones. You're not wielding 2 of those, 1 in each hand. I don't care who you are. Wielding 1 of those, you'd be tired after a while. Especially wearing the armour that he was wearing. Now, if you were fighting like Conan and wearing little to no armour, and you had quite decent meaty arms, you could carry a 2-handed sword and wield it for quite a while. But then you're not having as much protection, so you can freely move. But you ain't dual wielding 2 two-handers. That's why you'd wield 1 hand. That's why in a lot of cases people even dual wielded would have a long weapon in the main hand, and the second weapon would be a short axe or a dueling dagger. It'd be something shorter to be able to do it, because physically you can't. You can't, not for long periods of time. You'd gas out. Feed kittens 3 meals a day until they're 6 months old, twice a day till 1-year-old. Feed adult cats once or twice a day, senior cats. Fucking our cats don't get fed like that, they don't fucking want to.
About every 2.5, 3 hours, they get fed on the dot, so...
I've got no choice. We are the staff.
We are at their mercy.
We are at their mercy, yeah. They issue the orders. I just follow out the commands that are given. Otherwise she'll cry at me until I lose my mind. Where the hell did I put this? Right, it's got to be on here. Where's this? No, that's just him. Where the hell did I put my bird thing? Where the hell has it gone? I don't know. I'll have a look for it later. Don't worry, it's gone. I had something. I don't know where the fuck it's gone to. Try may not be food for food but attention. It could be, but I know for her it's food. When she wants attention, she just comes and gets it off you. You don't get a choice. Forced cuddles in her mind are not forced. It's like this is mandatory obligation of my staff. You will cuddle me, or you will be sacked and replaced by better staff. What the? About what was think about? What was his thing? 39. The bid is the same as the buyout. You're an idiot. Yeah, we'll gather them up into stacks of 20. Stacks of 20 always sell better.
What are you doing?
We've had cats that get fed in different ways. I've had cats my entire life. I've had them since I was like 5 years old. Basically, as long as I've had the dream to become like a full-time gamer. Cats have all got their own different personalities. They all have. I remember reading an article once where scientists said they think they've limited it down to where cats only have 1 of 5 personalities. Guarantee it's a lot of bollocks. Scientists who wrote that don't know shit. And probably haven't even got a pet.
Greetings. May the stars guide you.
You're opening up good professions for a warrior. It's not so much for your class, Kyle, it's what you want to do with your character at max level. So like if you want to make money, you want 2 gathering professions. So again, either take herbalism or mining, not both, and then take skinning alongside them. So then you can track one of the types of nodes on the minimap, and then when you kill certain creatures like beasts, you can skin them. And then you can get, money from that. If you want a crafting profession, then good ones like me and Overlord have got is herbalism and alchemy, because they work together. You use the herbs to create the potions, and the top end flasks and cauldrons are very good in raids. If you want to make armour for your character, you can go mining and blacksmithing, and then you can choose to go into weapons or armour, because you can do weapon crafting or armour crafting. So you can make gear for your character, and later on you can make really decent gear. You could go, like, here you go, here she comes for a cuddle now. This is when she comes for a cuddle. See, she didn't ask, she just jumps up. She's like, now I've had food, now cuddle shall be had. Your hand shall be licked. It shall smell like my food and like my ass. It's like, yes, lovely. I love that, darling, thank you. I like you to spread your smell onto me. I got in the shower this morning, so I was all clean and smelling fresh. But now I smell like cat food. Oh, but you're like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because I'm in charge. You're my staff. I'm the manager. There you go. See, I get bumpsied. What's up, darling? What? Do you stink? Yes. But you love having your colours, don't you? Yes. This one is quite free with the affection, aren't you, darling? Oh, bumpsy. You got big bumpsies, haven't you? Me? Them big bumpsies. Oh. What's up? What doing? She's pulling my arm back down. You know, it says on YouTube, not supposed to be kids on a stream. I think you qualify. That claw though there that keeps retracting and going into my arm. You realise that thing is quite sharp. It is an offensive weapon. My Palico is definitely ready for Monster Hunter Wilds. Aren't you, darling? Are you ready to hunt some monsters? You're gonna claw them. You're gonna be clawful. Yes, okay. She's like, I'm just cute. I'm just cute getting cuddles from one of my humans, one of my staff. What did I come up here for now? Completely threw off. Professions, right, profession. Let's go professions with you, Kyle. Professions. So yes, professions, you can always have 3 secondaries. Now it used to be fishing, cooking and first aid. Now I believe I've still got those, but in the new skill book thing, it now shows archaeology as well, which is weird. but I'm pretty sure I've still got fishing somewhere on there, unless I've got to scroll down. But you only take two primary professions, so you want them to either synergize where you're making money, you're just collecting it and selling it, or you want to synergize where you want to make something for your character. Potions are good in your case for your armor because you make plate. You want blacksmithing, you don't want one of the other lower armor types. You can do engineering if you want weird engineering shit, because that can give you some weird items that can be useful. What else is good for a warrior? What's the matter? And always take cooking anyway, because cooking's always good. Oh, Bumpsies. Oh, Bumpsies. What's all this Bumps about? Hey? You're very happy. You happy you're being fed by your mum? Hey? You very happy, little lady? What, you fed this cat, darling? Have you put some affection pills in there?
Apparently.
She's gone fucking haywire here. What doing? What's up? What doing? She's such an intention beast, this one. Come on, yeah, let's go and do a quest. Let's go and do our quest. Eh. What are you doing? What? Oh. Let's go and kill two of these gnarl pine ambushes. I completely forgot what I'm doing. So it's only thing I would say don't take, Kyle, is don't take something that's not relevant to your class. So like don't take leatherworking, don't take tailoring unless you're going to go tailoring and enchanting. That was the other one I'm thinking of. Tailoring and enchanting. Because tailoring and enchanting works really clever. So what you do is, tailoring is a crafting profession itself, but you use tailoring to get materials for enchanting. So you see this stuff here, linen cloth. Cloth only drops from humanoids. Humanoids are things that can't be skinned by like skinning. But humanoids can all have a chance to drop cloth. Varying types of cloth. So you use the cloth to make magical items with your tailoring. When you make your green, blue, purple items from your tailoring, you can disenchant it with your enchanting and get materials to make enchants for your enchanting. So you can enchant all your gear and enchant like your guild's gear. So tailoring and enchanting work very well together. In fact, yeah, I would say you have to have tailoring to take enchanting, unless you're planning on buying all your mats off the auction house, which would be really stupid and very expensive. What's the matter with you, eh? Eh? Am I allowed my other hand back at some point? Is that no? Okay, fair enough. All right. So, three good options for you. Either double money gaining if you want to get money for your first character. Alchemy and herbalism. Or mining and blacksmithing. And tailoring and enchanting would be a fourth one. If you want to go that route. But that might be a bit complex for you having two crafting professions for your first thing. Even though what you're crafting for your tailoring you're not keeping or selling. You're just disenchanting it. So you can get mats for your enchanting. So it'd be entirely up to you whether. But any one of those 4 combos should be good for any character really. Well, obviously you'd switch out mining and blacksmithing based on if your class has a different armour spec. So like if you were playing like a druid, you'd take skinning and leatherworking because druids wear leather. If you're going to craft stuff for yourself. Or if you were going to take a class that wears cloth, you would need tailoring. So you can make items. But it's whether you want to make the items and keep them, or sell them on the auction house, or if you want to disenchant them for enchanting stuff. Because if you don't want to disenchant them, then you'd take tailoring plus a gathering one. So you'd probably take alchemy, herbalism, or mining. But the purpose of that would be just to sell that stuff on the auction house for money, for gold. And then you would use the tailoring to use the cloth that you get from drops to make your some of your gear. That's me off till tomorrow evening. Time to take pre-meds and plenty of rest. You do it, buddy. You have a good Overlord. Thank you very much for the gifted subs. I don't know what happened with the other ones. It doesn't show them even on my thing here. It says it's just basically got like a blue loading symbol. So I don't know what the hell that means. Maybe it's waiting for them to come online. Or maybe they're just incognito. I ain't got a clue. Have you? Are you alright there, you? Hey? Air fruit. Oh, I can collect it now. Yes, collect the air fruit. Oh. There's a distinct lack of monsters around this area, which is kind of weird. Oi! Biting my cord. Eh? I'm not even in feisty mode. But no biting headset cord. Cheeky monkey. Oh, that one's over there somewhere. But I'm not fighting them to get through it. I can't be arsed. That's one of the things that I did when I got 60 on my warrior. Because I had, I think I had the same thing I've got now. I had herbalism and skinning to begin with. And then I got to level 60. I unlearned skinning and I learned alchemy. So I could get flasks at level 60. And I spent basically like entire days just running around areas farming herbs. And then making the potions I needed. Then leveling them up because I'd got the money to, like, you know, buy all the things you can learn from your profession's trainer. And I just spend like a fucking couple of days just doing it, level them up. But then I think within, I want to say 3 to 5 days, something in that ballpark, I'd basically got maxed out herbalism. So I'd got, I think it was 300 was the cap. So I've got 300 herbalism, 300 alchemy. And I'd learned everything I needed to learn. Basically, I got my flasks, and then it was a matter of getting the materials for them. The one problem was the rarest herb in vanilla is something called nightshade. And nightshade, there were only like, I think 4 spots, there were 2 on each continent, where they actually spawned. So like, when you go on this, there were like 2 spots on here where they spawned, and 2 spots on the other continent. Now, there could be random single spawns anywhere in the world, but they were really rare, and it might just be like 1 herb. So you pick it, you might get 1, 2, potentially 3 herbs at a max from the farm of it. But then there were like 2 clumpings in 2 areas. I forget where they were. And there was one in this half, one in the northern part, and one down the southern half. And you could farm them there, but there were like people there farming them all day long to try and get the flasks for their guild. Because at the time you had 3 different flasks. You had a stamina flask, which was for your tanks. You had a like a DPS flask, which gave your, I think it was attack power or spell power, or it was your main stat for the damage classes. And then there was a healing one for the healers, which increased their healing, like what you would get from healing. So you'd all have your own type of flask. So you couldn't really get it wrong which one you needed, because there was only 3 types, and they were all linked to a certain type of spec. Obviously, me being a tank, I just had the stamina flasks. But basically, any that I got, I just used to make my own. Because then, our guild did try to get together some mats where they could then distribute them out to the guild. But because they were quite rare, it was quite hard to come by them. So what we'd normally do is, I'd kind of help the guild out in a way. It was like, is she auto running? I was doing it basically, I was being selfish to be selfless, as weird as that sounds. I was making flasks just for myself, but then the guild didn't need to give me any flasks. So any flasks they would have made, they didn't need to make any additional for me. I basically took care of myself, my own character. I was really torn at one point to take mining and blacksmithing, but then I realised that even though you can make some epic gear at max level for your character, none of it is as good as the gear you'll get from raid bosses. You'll get better gear from raid bosses for like your tier sets and stuff like that. They'll be your best pieces of gear. You might get odd pieces here and there for like PvP or for a damage build maybe, for like your off-spec pieces, but for a large portion of it, you're better off just getting it from your raids. Or in very rare cases, dungeons. Because some of the dungeons, well, they didn't drop purple loot back then. You could get blue loot from dungeons at best. There was like the odd rare purple drop from certain bosses, and that was in like the highest level dungeons. The thing you could get was these really rare items drop, like these books, and they could give you a quest to lead you to an item. And like one of the books I wanted was from a place called Maraudon, which was actually 3 dungeons in one area, and it had 3 like different types of mobs and stuff going on. One was like overrun by ogres, one was like these weird mana monsters and tree things that had gone off, and then another one was some more of the tree things, but also demons like oh fucking hell, the black demonic fucking Asata. That's what they're called Asata. My calculators, off take the eldest to a party. Go for it, brother. Enjoy yourself. But the I needed a book from there. Any of the bosses could drop it, but it had a 0.02% drop rate. And if you got the book, you could either sell it for a fucking fortune, or if you needed it, you could open it and learn the quest, and it would lead you on to a quest chain to go to like, I think 2 or 3 other dungeons, and you could make an epic one-handed tanking sword called Quell Sarah. And I never got that book, but I wanted the sword. But as a compensation, I did get Thunder Fury, which was actually better than Quell Sarah, because Thunder Fury was a legendary one-hander, and I used that even up until Burning Crusade. In Burning Crusade even, I used it at like level 70 for a bit still, until I got this really nice one-hander from Black Temple. Fucking hell, this bitch ain't lying down. I just wanted the herb, nothing else. No! Ow! Fireball! Give me the fireball. Bitch has got superpowers. Oh, she left me? Nope, she's still coming. Oh, fuck. Person! Help me! Being chased by an evil bitch with wings. She's gone back, it's okay. It's weird to think this is the base game when it came out, and you had to read all the quests. You didn't have any map markers showing you where things were. people these days would be like, "Where do I go? Where do I go? I can't find this quest. Oh, I give up." And it's like these days, it like literally holds your hand and it shows you with a big yellow arrow. This is where you go. And when you get there, it's basically blinking on the map saying, "You're at the North Pole. Welcome." Oh. I mean, even the herbs are now fucking hard to see. Where in retail, so much easier to see them. They're fucking blending when you've got a herb blending in the grass. It's like, where is it? I can't see it. One of those bear trees. There's that fucking moonwell thing. That's what I wanted. I'm pretty sure that's where I fill my vial. It is.
I am honored. Be careful.
And this is the thing, right? These quests are giving you white items. Fucking all the quests now in vanilla give you green items, generally a minimum. And then they can have the auto upgrade feature where they can upgrade to even a blue or a purple. And that just enhances the stats. You get epics so free. And I think they brought in that upgrade feature. I think it was in Wrath of Lich King. It's either Wrath of Lich King or Cataclysm. And you were getting epics thrown at you. If you saw somebody with purples back in the day in vanilla, you knew they were a badass. Because they either had a high level crafting. Thread the needle. Thread it. They either had high level crafting and made it themselves, or they were doing like raid bosses, or they got a really lucky loot drop in a high level dungeon. I think that's one thing back in the day I did appreciate more, is that your purples were harder to obtain. Because the epics now are just like... they're more like common items at level 80. They're just really, really good magical items. Your only ones that now are like your really, really rare shit is your legendaries. Your artifacts would have been quite rare as well, until they started handing them out to everyone in Legion. And then made that kind of pointless. Your artifacts should have been, like they were, class specific, but they should have been top of the line items that required no upgrading. It's like, you get one of these, you ain't getting better this expansion. this is going to carry you through the entire expansion. So if they had like an artifact item drop on the end raid boss of the first raid, that would carry you all the way through this entire expansion. You wouldn't need to upgrade it or replace it at all. And Legendary should really be the same way, but Legendary should just be one step down from Artifact. But usually you wouldn't have them both in the same way. What I would like them to divide were, say, Legendary's weapons, an Artifact could have been an armor piece. So it could have been like a helmet or maybe a shield. But your Legendaries will be just weapons. Give a bit of meaning to the loot, like quality, I suppose. Because even back in the day, if you got a blue item was pretty badass. A blue items now you're like, oh no, I just need to get my purples at max level. That's all you need. I mean, last night I got 2 purples by doing fucking delves, and I was soloing them in fucking questing gear. It's like, you get them so free. Me, I won't get a purple on this character until I either do a high level dungeon or until I can raid. That'll be the only time I'll get a purple. Unless I get a world drop. But if I get a world drop, it depends if my class can use it. Because not all world drops are good for your class. And generally if you get a world drop, you're better off selling it, because they're worth thousands of gold. And that kind of gold can keep your character minted for a long fucking time. I used to sell these Crimson Wellpling pets, which I might farm some of when I get over there to that level in the wetlands. And you can sell them on auction house for anything between 9 to 36,000 gold. So 9,000 gold to 36,000. But 36,000 gold back in vanilla, a lot of people didn't have it, apart from your very extreme players who made a lot of fucking gold. But you could generally get between, say, 9 and 15,000 is what you could sell them for. I don't know who would spend them on a goddamn pet, but apparently people fucking liked them. Maybe it was like an RPer thing. Because our RPers don't give a shit about gear. They're all in it for the cosmetic, the appearances, that sort of stuff. Because that's what they do, that's how they enjoy the game. See, regardless about class nerfs and buffs, one thing that never affects RPers is that they don't care. They're in it for the story, building the story of their character. So RPers love the game all the way through. All they're doing is further the story. They don't give a shit about fucking all the raids and Race to World First and Mythic Plus and all that crap. They couldn't care less. RPers is probably going to be one of the least toxic communities in World of Warcraft, where Mythic Plus just... Whew. Mythic Plus is like fucking Call of Duty World of Warcraft. It's vicious. Vicious little bastards.
Peace be with you.
Won't get them for a while. They're quite rare by comparison to these two. And then we can go and sell them the auction house. What the fuck? Oh, I need to go on comms, don't I? Am I not on Discord? No, I'm not. I'm an idiot. I is the idiot. I think my main monitor's on its way out. It keeps doing that where the screen will just go off randomly. Or get like a bar of fucking white static looking shit across the middle of the screen. I don't know what's causing it or why. Only started happening recently. But I have had this monitor a while, so...
My goods are of the highest quality.
You would just expect a £490 monitor to last quite a bit longer. Considering the one to my left here that's got the chat on with you guys, that one cost less than 100. That one's just basically for basic shit. Here we are. 44 to 47. Okay. So let's do 44. There we go. And that's something you've got to remember as well when you put them on for the duration. Longer duration costs you more money, so it can cost you like 1 silver something. So you have to make sure you've got some in there so you can make some money by selling your stuff. Because if either of those sell, if I get both of them to sell, I'll have over a gold. Which sounds a bit weird when you think a gold, that's it. But a gold back then was a lot. It was actually a lot. It really was. Because one gold means you've got 100 silver. That means you've got 1,000 copper. It was a big amount back then. Oh no! Oh, well, in fact, actually no, because we'll put that stuff here. Right, we've got to go back to Dolinar. In fact, where's my healthstone set? Perfect. So why that's not on the bars? It does return to Dolinar. Easy peasy, quick journey. I think I actually need those on the bars. And even that's a buff, isn't it? You move it out there the way. What the? Imagine if that was your morning. If you fucking woke up out of that inn there and you were groggy and you just walked off the side of the thing and had a 10-foot drop onto some grass. Okay, now you'd be like, ugh! Wake up and you got fucking wind knocked out of you.
I'm listening. Good luck.
That was the other drawback of classic, which was when you got quests. Not only did they give you complete shit for rewards, but like this gives me a bow or a mace, which my class can't use either. They're both fucking useless. So all I'm gonna be doing is sell it to a vendor. Neither one are any good for me. Where now you get like class specific rewards where at least you can use whatever its reward is, which that is a massive quality of life improvement that Blizzard did. It was really good of them to do that, because you should be able to do a request if it offers a reward and it's not just experience and gold. You should be able to get something for your class and ideally for your spec. Thank you. Wow. See, people are so kind sometimes. You get some past you. Some will buff you, some will, and then apparently some like Matrix, I think you were getting buffed for like strength 4 time, which was so funny. He kept getting strength buffs. I wonder if, can I buff other people with this? No, just me. Ugh. What the hell that were then? It's made a very odd noise. Have we got any more quests for Dalinar? Oracle Glade. Darnassus. Oh, that's that one. No. Not doing that quest. There is no fucking way I'm going down that shithole. There's a mound over here. This place. Banithil Hollow. And you've got to collect those 4 items that were on that quest. Do not ever go down there. The only class I went down there where I had a somewhat easy time was my rogue. When I played my rogue. Because my rogue could stealth past a bunch of the mobs. Or somebody else would like get aggro and I'd stealth past them. And yeah, I think you've got 4 guys you've got to kill. And there's either an item on them or an item in the room in a little box. And that is more like a 5-man group quest area. Because they respawn quite rapidly. And they're at your level or a little bit higher. And no, just do not go there. Treat it like Ravenholt, whatever it's called, or Ravenholm from Half-Life 2. We don't go to Ravenholm. We don't go to the Banithil Barrow Den. So you go to die. So all my quests now are overturning me to Darnassus. So when I get into Darnassus, I'm going to make that my home for my Hearthstone. I don't need to go back to that other place anymore. Brings back a lot of memories. Just, I remember it being obviously back in vanilla, there were people fucking everywhere. It was mental. The best thing was watching trade chat in the cities. People going, "Hi, how do you play this game?" They were like, "What?" Like, I don't know how to play it. And it was just, oh, there were people there like trying to explain it to others, and it was so funny. So funny. How do you play the game? So when the game first came out, there were no guides, there were no YouTube videos. When the game had been out, say, I'd say the first 6 months, there was almost nothing. You might have got the odd basic guide, and a lot of those early guides were dog shit. Because the people who made the guides didn't know what the fuck they were doing either. And it was just... It were a thing. It were a whole thing. Once guilds started getting like Ragnaros down, and Ragnaros was alive for a long fucking time. Once they got Ragnaros down, then you started getting some like decent guides coming out of people who knew what they were doing, like how to make like your min-maxy specs and stuff like that, and what abilities to take and not to take based on what you were doing. Because even now in retail, one thing they've still got a problem with is for every single class, or sorry, every spec, some of the abilities in every spec are designed for PvP. They're designed more for PvP than PvE. Now, if they could make a separate game for PvP for World of Warcraft, separate servers, you know, it's one of those you can play it like vanilla, all you need is a subscription. And it'll be like, right, here is your retail version of PvP. You go there, you've got all different abilities, just purely designed for PvP, and damaging players with their size health bars. So you haven't got to really nerf or buff the damage too much. And then they can take all those out of retail from us and discard them. I'm like, right, you don't need these. You've now got these abilities that remain, and we're now making them tailored just for PvE. Because there's no PvP in the game. Because PvP is basically fucking dead anyway. So these abilities that are in the game just add a layer of complexity for PvE players that they probably never intended to like use. Now, back in when Vanilla was out, I would have said you probably had Vanilla through to Wrath of Lich King. Although the majority of the player base PvE'd, has always been the case, will always be the case. There was probably I would say a 30 to 25% margin that also PvP'd. So there was a chunk of it that PvP'd and PvE'd. And there might have been, say, a 15% that were just pure PvPers. But that percentage that PvP'd and PvE'd is now even smaller. And the ones that just PvP is like 4%, if that. It's not worth Blizzard investing time in it. Because there's no value to it. There's no value catering to something that's already dead and gone. PvP's at its heyday. I was there for it. It's just it's pointless it being in the game and just making it a bastard for the devs to balance a game they've already got problems balancing. So if they remove the PvP aspect from it and made it just purely about PvE, then they can focus all the talents, all the abilities on damaging mobs and bosses with their size health pools. Because mobs and bosses are always going to have more health than players. At least at the same level. You're not going to come across a mob at level 80 that's got less health than you generally, unless maybe you're a tank. Because that's one of the things they generally have, is they've got way more health than you. They just don't do as much damage as you. I need to sell this to someone. Ooh, you.
Hello.
Have that. What am I going to do? I need to do those. That one and that one. Okie dokie. I want to get level 10 so I can see my talent tree. I need to find that thing though. I do need to find it. Oh, it's there. There it is. Right, where the fuck have I saved this? Where is it based? Videos vanilla. It's in videos. Why the fuck is it in? It's in videos. It is. Yeah, so that's my build that I'm going with. Destruction Warlock, pretty much purely. I've avoided some of the ones that I don't massively need as much, and then I've taken 2 into Demonology, which basically just buff your imp. Because my imp's going to be my primary pet. In every single raid you want your imp out. Because it gives you a I'm not sure if it's raid-wide or group-wide buff to stamina, but it's a big buff to stamina. But then your imp is also your best damaging pet. I'm just going to leave my character there a second, because I just need to go to loo. Makes you wonder, doesn't it, where I can't put it all. Let's go. Oh. Buff myself up. And then I think if I get to level 10, I'll also go back to Ironforge. Because I've got the money now to afford the flight path. And then I can Hearthstone back to Darnassus. So I'm going to take another flight path. But now we've got some money, it's fine. What's up with you? What's the matter? What do you think you're doing? Trying to get up, aren't you? What? What's up? I wonder if I actually about something. If I go into Eastern Kingdoms, it doesn't tell you level range, does it? Darkshire. So I want a quest in Darkshire. When I get to the level. I like Darkshire, it's a really good area to quest in. It's full of character, it's great. You just gotta make sure that you avoid patches. Is that part of that quest? Blood for the belts and bring them... well, it's blood feather, so I'm assuming so.
That's still recharging.
It is. Quest item.
That spell.
Oh god. I hate it when they kick you and they knock back your fucking cast bar. That's annoying. And you've got no utility at like this point to like keep them off you. I mean, I think I could have got fear at level 8, but I just couldn't afford to buy it. But then if you fear them and they go flying into other mobs that aggro another mob, you're dead. You've got to run. I can understand why they've made retail so easy with the levelling side. It's harder in like terms of its dungeon bosses and its raid bosses and stuff, and world bosses. World bosses actually maybe not, I don't know, I think world bosses actually become better a joke. World bosses were really good back in the day. They need to bring it back to where they were good again, where they're actually hard. You needed like a 40-man raid to do them. I got a little into questing and finished all the quests in the first 2 areas and hit level 80. Now I have areas to go through the campaign slot. I'll probably do every quest I find. Brett, just an FYI, but if you need gear, do your delves. Because if you do delves, as well, you could go as healer if you wanted and then have Brand DPS, or you could go DPS for it and have Brand heal you. I did delves last night from tier 1 you do as part of the campaign, but I did tier 2 to tier 6 by myself and soloed them. And the tier 6 boss had 30 million health, and I managed to kill it in questing greens. I had like 540 item level or something. So you can do probably easily up to tier 5. And then it will also fill out some of your Great Vault. So you'll get a Great Vault item on Wednesday. That'll be like a 590 item level, which is like the same level pretty much as a raid. So it might be worth having a look at that. And the delves are really fun as well, to be fair. One thing actually I wish they would really do for Mythic Plus, and I'd probably do Mythic Plus then, I'd be a Mythic Plus boy as well as a delve boy, is get rid of the timer. If they want to leave in affixes for like your scaling difficulty, fair enough. But get rid of the timer and put in lives per player. Because that's what you've got in delves. In delves you have like 5 or 6 lives. So let's say they had 5 lives per player. but it's put into a big pool in a dungeon. So you've got 25 lives because you've got a 5-person group. So essentially, you can have 25 deaths. But if someone dies a 26th time, that person then can't be revived. They're dead for the rest of the dungeon. But let's say they die on the last boss, and the boss is lower health. If you 4 can kill it, that person can then revive after the boss is dead to collect the loot and get the loot and stuff. But if they die like, you know, on a trash pack in the middle of the fucking dungeon and you've died 26 times, you won't complete in the fucking dungeon. And you can't invite anyone else in to take their place sort of thing, because you've already run out of lives. So, I think the lives idea is a much better idea. Because then you've got unlimited time, you can do it as, you can take your time as much as you want, there's no rush anymore. But you've still got the difficulty of if you die too much, you won't complete in that key. I think the Delves do it far better. But even if they don't bring it to Mythic Plus, it's fine by me, I'll just not do Mythic Plus. I'll do up to Mythic 0, and then I'll fucking leave it. I'll be happily doing my Delves. Delves are awesome. As long as they don't put a time limit on Delves, I'm fine. If they put a time limit on Delves, it's going to be just as shit and try hard as Mythic Plus. Even though it's also supposed to be solo content. It's Mythic Plus that's driven the toxicity to the game. And driven some players away. But your Great Vault is split into 3 things. Raids, Mythic Plus dungeons, and then Delves and World Quests. Because Delves are classed as part of the World Quest thing. So at least the World Quest and the Delves side of things I can do alongside the raids. So I can fill out 2 sides of the Great Vault. And then just not associate with dungeons at all. Because once I've got like pretty much normal level dungeon gear, I won't even need the dungeons anymore. I know you can get higher level writing level gear than that if you do high level keys, but I don't plan on doing keys. So I'll just do my raids and my delves. Does me. They're so much fun. I just had to stop where I were last night because I was feeling a bit tired. And there's a reason I didn't go on comms is because I was feeling like a headache coming on. So I stopped. But I do like the delves. Delves are, from my opinion to Blizzard, delves are a big W. A big W as long as you're not putting a timer. If you're putting a timer, you're fucking idiots. Keep it with lives, don't put in a timer. You should never have a timer in a game like this. Unless it's like your physical skywriting race. Where it's actually a race and you would have a timer in a race. Mythic Plus isn't a race. You're just doing a dungeon. There shouldn't be any timer involved with it. Because rushing makes people make mistakes. Where if you've got lives, people then are going to be more careful. They're going to do more careful trash pack pulls. They're going to play smarter on bosses. Because then it's not about the timer, it's then about playing smarter. And that's what you want. And people who play smarter make better World of Warcraft players. And then if they do want to do a boss, a raid boss as well, that'll also make them a bit more valuable to that sort of side of that scene. Shit. Ow! Pebble. Much easier to escape from casters and ranged DPS, like mobs on this, than it is melee. Because melee can daze you when you turn your back to them when you start running away, which slows you down, so they can stay on top of you. And if depending on what it is, like if it's a spider, they can web you, and then you're buggered because you're locked in place, you're immobilised. I remember at one point they used to take spider pets on hunters for a lot in PvP. Because you could have the spider pet. If it was a caster, you could root them in place, stop them escaping. And if it was a melee DPS trying to get to your hunter, your spider could keep rooting them. And while they're immobilised and they can't get out of it, you're just doing free damage to the warrior or melee class, whatever it is, who can't get out of it. They might be able to get out of it once or twice because you have the PvP trinket, and then usually you'll have one of the ability that might enable you to get out. But it made it quite unforgiving to get to hunters when they had that. It was really annoying. It's like the warlocks with the succubus. If they've got the succubus pet, she has this constant fucking thing with a goddamn whip where she can, I think it's incapacitate you or something. And basically your character just loses control for like 3 or 4 seconds. 3 or 4 seconds in PvP is a fucking lifetime. It's not like it is in PvE where you can take things a bit more steady. And, oh god. It were annoying to fucking PvP against warlocks. It really were.
Can't cast that yet.
All the ones that were more annoying to me than warlocks and things like that where you had trouble getting to them. A decent frost mage could do it as well because they could kite you to some extent. But they had to be decent, and I didn't usually come across many decent frost mages, I usually shit on them. But the other ones were rogues and feral druids, because they could turn invisible, and they can stealth and reset the fight. And they can come back at you then with 4 combo points, and reopen on you. And if they can get their health back, and you're not allowed to like fully eat to get your health up, and even then they get the opener anyway. If their opener's good, and they make it count, they can potentially beat you. Especially when they killed PvP essentially in World of Draenor, because they made it where rogues could open and basically one-shot any class. I got crit by a rogue then in Venom for like, I think it was 1,000 more than my health bar. My health bar was something like 450k, and I got crit for like 451k from one ability. And I was like, what? Because he had, I think it was called Preparation or something, and he basically gave you like a full combo point bar. So you had all 5 combo points. And then he opened, he sapped me, stunned me, and then crit me with this Venom for more than my health bar. And I was like, yeah, PvP is dead. If a class can open and delete you, when you're wearing the heaviest armor class in the game, and I was in the best PvP gear in the game as well, I might add, and crit me once and killed me. And I was like, yeah, PvP is no longer a thing. Makes me wonder as well, you're right, if there's going to be some guilds that just focus delves. You know, make delves and world quests their like end game thing, rather than doing dungeons or raids. Obviously you won't get as good gear as the high mythic plus keys, or the mythic raiding gear, because your stuff can potentially be solo in some cases. But you can still get a full set of epic gear, and probably be at like heroic raid level. Just makes me wonder. Oh, Silverleaf, put that there. Earthroot, put that there. Don't want to be selling that by mistake. I once got 2.1 mil crit by a shield slam in Mop. 2.1 mil? Not natively you wouldn't have, because you didn't have that kind of health in Mop. And I played Warrior, you couldn't crit that high in Mop. You couldn't crit that high in WoD. You can't crit that high now. Really? I mean, you've got players who can do 1 million DPS, so that's 1 million damage per second. But they might maybe crit for 1 million. They're not critting for 2.1 million. I mean, I got a crit last night on my Warlock, biggest crit I've done so far, which was 634,000. And that was in Questing Greens, I might add. But not back in Mop, no chance. Not unless somebody had something going on with like some flasks and buffs and bullshit. And not from a prot warrior. I mean, it would have had to not be in defensive stance for one. Because if he's in defensive stance, he's going to deal 10% less damage. There's no way we're critting that high, like anywhere near that. Because you've got to think what health the bosses had back then. If a prot warrior can shield slam a boss under 2.1 million health damage, you wouldn't even need DPS. You just take a fucking raid full of prot warriors with your healers. Your raid would be unkillable and deal a fuck ton of damage. I mean, in MOP, I did play Alliance to start with because I enjoyed the SI7 questline, and that's why I did switch over and I played Lokmar and Ruo. I made them in MOP. So I had my Shadow Priest and my Frost Mage, because I was doing PvP. I wouldn't take Frost in PV, and I would probably do Fire or Arcane. But I went Frost in Arena when I was going for like Gladiator and stuff, and I once did a couple million damage over the course of the fight in the arena with one of my bursts, my burst windows. Somehow their player survived it because he must have popped some fucking major defensives, and the healer on their team must have been fucking god tier because we're in 2v2s at the time. But I did a fuckload of damage when I got my rotation fucking down, all the procs up. I'm fucking beastly. Like, I can usually feel out a class straight away and look at where their abilities are and tell if I'm going to enjoy playing them by how many activates they've got and how many passives they've got. And that's why I don't like playing Elemental Shaman. Enhancement Shaman seems better, but I'm going to test it. If it gets to the point where I just find it's a bit too cluttered, then I'll just make it a bank call like my rogue. I won't delete the character, not when it's got to that level, but I'll just make it a bank call. And then I'm just going to focus on the group of characters that are easy enough to play without too much clutter in their ability bar. And if they're easy enough to play with there's not too much clutter, I'll dominate with them. I just don't like it when they've got too many fucking abilities. Some classes just have way too much. That's why I think personally, you've got this primary bar here. This primary bar is 12 buttons. And you've got 12 buttons on an MMO mouse. And a mouse designed for the genre of the game we're playing. Why can't they just give us 12 abilities? And I don't mean all these excess ones, like, example, Warlock. You've got your Warlock portal and stuff like that, or being able to summon players. I don't mean ones like that. I just mean in combat, 12 abilities. That's your offensives, your defensives, and your core rotation. Just cut it down to 12. And do the same thing for every class. Make everything else passives, and then you can choose between the passives and what they might buff up. Certain abilities might make your defensives better, your offensives better, or your core rotation better in some way. And then at least whichever class you play, if they've all got 12 abilities, they all have the same amount of abilities. So you know if you can play with 12 buttons on any class, you can play every class, every spec. You can still make them have flavour and feel unique without needing 30 or 40 fucking buttons. Especially when you've got MMOs with 12 buttons on the side. It's like, how many fucking buttons do you goddamn need? Fucking Christ. Although, there were that thing, Brett, do you remember, it went in MOP, I don't think, or it Cataclysm? I think it might have been Cataclysm. There were a dungeon where you could go and meet Neptune the Tide Hunter. It was one of the big 4 elementals. I think he's the only one still alive. Neptune isn't dead. Where, you've killed the other 3. You've killed Alakir, you've killed Ragnaros. Oh, in fact, no, you've killed 2. Therazine's not dead, the Earth Mother, I don't think. Unless she did something from Dragonflight. So you've got Therazine, the Earth Mother's alive. She's like not hostile towards us, and Neptune, the Tide Hunter's alive. And in one of the dungeons, it gave you a buff to kill this giant fuck off massive squid. But it weren't just like a normal squid, it was a void squid. So it was like one of the extensions of one of the old gods, probably Nazoth or something. And you could get a damage buff. And what one of the guys did, Rex Troy, he got the buff, had a Hearthstone port ready to be ported into Nyalotha, went into Mythic Nyalotha, and one-shot the first buff with one ability. Because he had something like 600% damage increase on all his abilities because of this buff he had on him. But then he told Blizzard beforehand so people couldn't exploit it before his video went up. And Blizzard patched it so the buff then couldn't leave the dungeon. Otherwise, if that happens, people figure that out, they could just go through the raids and just one-shot every fucking boss. Fucking like 600% damage. The size of crits you could do with that. And even if, say, a boss could survive the first attack.
I'm out of range.
What? No, gather the herbs, you bellend. Shoot the bitch in front of you. I had 3 health left. That'd be fucking close. Couldn't a bit close there, Spec? A little bit close. It was like that stupid thing you could do with the one-shot thing from one of the bosses where the hunter's pet would get a bomb on it and you put it away before it goes off and then yeah, that was back in Classic. They actually used that, you know, real-world virologists used that as a study on how to handle epidemics. Because it wasn't the bomb was from a boss in Molten Core. That would just go off and explode and kill everyone in the area. What it was from Hakar, the last boss of Zolgrub. And it was some corrupted blood, it would sometimes put it on your pet. But what hunters could do were, because their pets weren't desummoned like a warlock or a mage. So they were desummoned, they lost a buff because every time you resummoned them, it basically created a new pet. Where the hunter's pet was the same pet. So you could resummon it in, say, middle of Ironforge, and then it would proc, and everyone in the immediate area would get this debuff. It was fatal to low-level players. If you were, say, level 55 and up, you can survive it, but you had to get cleansed relatively quickly, because it could do something like, I think, 1,000 damage a tick. Now, bear in mind, back in vanilla, if you were, say, like, level 60 and you were tier geared, you might add 6,000 to 8,000 health. You put out 8,000 as a tank. So you're talking more like 6 as like a DPS and a caster. Oh shit. And what it would do is it would spread. And because there were so many players playing the game at that time, and the major cities were so congested, it would spread like a virus, like a plague. So the scientists who studied it used it as, say, the pet was essentially patient zero. They were the first one to get the disease, and then because they were in a populated area, they might have sneezed, and then everyone else in the area had got it in close proximity, kind of like a grenade going off. And then they've touched other people, and they've sneezed or coughed and spread it to others, and it just goes on and on. So what happened were, the healers of World of Warcraft set up triage centres outside the major cities. You could go outside to be despelled and decursed to get rid of the debuff. Obviously, if you were a low-level player, you were screwed, because as soon as you got one tick of it, you were dead. You weren't surviving it. So you had to be a high-level player to survive in one tick. But if you were, say, maybe 50 and up or 55 and up, then you could survive it long enough to get outside and get decursed. Some players went to live in the mountains and made little camps in the mountains where there were no mobs that had spawned. And they made little, like, contained ecosystem villages. There was a story about one for vanilla. It was it weren't here. It was, well, no, it was here, but it was here. It was in Ashenvale, and I can't remember what it were on here. There's an area where there's like a ruin, but there's no quests there and there's no mobs there, and they set up like a little camp there in the middle of nowhere, and they basically had their own cooks because you had people cooking. You had their guild enchanters. They had the armour smiths, leather workers, the tailors. They were all there, and they basically had that as their new major city. And all they did were, the local town is Ashenvale. So rather than portal into a big city, they'd portal to a small town, and usually wouldn't get the plague in a small town. So they'd portal to the town and then quickly run out of the town to their encampment up in the hills. And that's how bad it became. And then Blizzard eventually patched it and made it so the dot couldn't be taken out of the dungeon, out of the raid, because it was creating such a problem. It shut servers down for weeks and stuff. Players were like, well, I can't log on, I'll just die. There's this fucking plague bouncing around every single person. And I think as well, because it had bugged, I'm not sure if this applied just to the pet or to the players that died. When the dot applied to you, I think the dot was like a 30-second dot. It was quite a long dot. If you died, dots don't normally work this way. They normally stop upon death. But I'm pretty sure there were some instances where that dot kept ticking on your corpse. So obviously it couldn't kill you if you're dead, but anyone else nearby could contract the virus. So it's kind of like if somebody went up to help someone who was looking like they were dying on the floor in real life, and they're there like, you alright, and they're touching you, but they're touching you and getting the virus. Or if they give you mouth to mouth and they're getting the virus. So basically that's what that dot was like. It was almost like simulating a real life virus, because it could even proc on your corpse. And it could spread to people. It was so absolute monstrous at the time. I fucking hated that thing. That were a game though. That was part of the character of Classic at the time. It were brilliant. The best thing that I'm enjoying right now is I can go from Classic to Retail with no add-ons. The game's different because you feel really powerful in Retail, where you can kill lots of mobs at the same time unless they're elites, and then you've got to be a bit more careful. But you can play the game the same way. with no add-ons. The only thing I would like is Blizzard to put in their own damage meters, damage and healing meters. So something you can enable in the game, purely so you can track your own damage, and not something you've got to update whenever there's a patch. It's just updated whenever Blizzard do a patch because it's part of their core systems. And it's so I can track my own progress on how I'm doing. Because when I start to review you guys, I'm probably going to have to rely on somebody else's damage meters to say, how am I doing? Am I doing good? Am I doing bad? I need to know. Because if I'm doing bad, I need to find a way to improve on that particular spec or class. If not, then I either need to change a spec and try something else, or I need to try a different class entirely. If I can't improve, that is. Makes me wonder how people gauge the damage on Final Fantasy Online. Because what if you've got somebody in Final Fantasy Online who's got really, like, wank damage? Like, proper dog shit level damage? Where is this? Oh, she's out there, isn't she? Fuck. She's out there. Oh, I need some food. Where's that fucking food vendor? You. Yes. How much health have I got?
I am listening. May the stars guide
Actually, that linen cloth, I'll take that out. Don't know why it's in there anyway. I bought bean soup. Oh, I should get something for mana as well. Yeah, we can get something for mana.
Ishnu Allah. Farewell.
How much more have I got?
What brings you here?
That'll be fine.
Ashaf Allah.
Oh, in fact, no. Do I need more mana?
Elun Adore.
Yeah, take more.
May the stars guide you.
Take more of the mana. This is also something that's not like retail, where you get a lot of downtime with your characters. Like on my Warlock, never once have I run out of mana. Not even close. I don't even know if you can run out of mana. But obviously your health, sometimes you'll need to stop and eat some food, get your health back up a little bit. But you don't generally get as low as I've done in this, where you get to like 3 health points. think what I might do, maybe, I'm not sure. Something we could do. Are you there, Brett? Who's in chat for the guild? I don't know. You are. What do you think about this for an idea? How about from next Sunday onwards, we do retail. So 3 retail streams a week, Monday, Friday, Sunday, which is what I'm planning for the future anyway, if we can't raid. Just play Classic in my own time until I get to 60. And then at 60, see if I can form a raiding guild. What do you think? Might be better maybe? Because everyone's playing it, aren't they? All the guildies are on there. There's a few on here, but not many. Sounds like a good idea, right. I think I might do that doing next Sunday then. We'll put vanilla on the back burner. If we can do vanilla raids, I'll definitely stream the raids. And we'll do the raids on a Sunday. But I think we'll stick with retail for the time being. Because it'll give me more time playing those characters as well, so I can level them faster. Because with that extra 6 hours, I can probably get in a lot of leveling. A lot of us on retail, and I feel like more people show up for the retail streams. They do. They do. But retail is a lot more popular. Retail's always going to be the most popular version of the game, for the most part. The only time retail has its wiggy phases is when they launch something new. It's like when they first launched Vanilla. Vanilla fucking popped off. When they went round to Burning Crusade and Lich King, it popped off. What killed it was WoW Token and Lich King. That was fucking stupid. Don't know why they put WoW Token into Vanilla. When they launched Season Discovery, that popped off. When they launch something new is when you get the pop off. Because people want to see what the new thing is. Or in the case of Vanilla, the old thing, but coming back again. Same with that Plunderstorm. Everyone said they hated Plunderstorm. A lot of people. But your PvPers and some PvEers actually really fucking liked it. They really, really liked it. Plunderstorm was a good idea. So yeah, I'd rather them do something like Plunderstorm. If they want to, if they don't want to make it free to play, which generally battle royales like that would be, that's why like Fortnite does so well. But if they want to make it so you need a subscription to play it, make it so it's like just any subscription to Battle.net, which is fine. But then make it its own separate game, just like Classic is to retail. Make it separate.
What brings you here? Good luck, friend. Del Magus.
Well, I think what I'll probably do is then, I'll get this guy to level 10, because I'm only 1 bar away. I'll get him to level 10. Actually, if I hand that quest, maybe that might be enough. And then I'll jump on retail. But I'll stop the stream, so it's a separate stream, and I'll start up a retail stream. I think that's what I'll do. And then I can start leveling my retail alts. Yeah. My evil plan is working. Weird thing is as well, when you first start in Vanilla, you're not actually friendly with the Night Elves. You're neutral towards a very, very high end. And you've got to get it out of neutrality into friendly. You're friendly with the Gnomes and Dwarves, but not with the Night Elves for some strange reason. And I think it's the same if you are the Night Elves. I think there's one of the other factions, either Dwarves or Humans, that you're neutral with. And that you've got to convert it to friendly. It's really odd. tell you something, this running around that without a mount. Oh god. It's nostalgic, but it is also painful. When they pulled it forward, where you could get mounts at like, I think, 20 or 30 when they brought out Burning Crusade, was so much better. Because you can't get a mount until level fucking 40. So you've got to run around for 39 levels. And that's assuming you can buy a mount and the training at level 40. Now luckily in my particular case, when I first did my Night Elf Warrior, I could. Because I saved up knowing that the mount was coming, and I'm like, yeah, I want a fucking mount. Because then you went from normal movement speed to 60% movement speed. And you felt like you were driving a fucking Ferrari. It was so much quicker. And then I didn't get epic riding initially as I hit level 60, because that was really fucking expensive. But when I was able to get it, I did. And then obviously that took it from 60 to 100% movement speed. So you got another 40% speed increase by having epic riding and epic mount. Because that was the thing back then, where it weren't just having the epic riding, you needed an epic mount to get the speed. It didn't make your normal mount run faster. Normal mount was capped at 60, so you had to guide the more expensive mount as well. But once you'd got exalted with the faction you were buying the mount of, it made it the cheapest you could possibly get it. So you wanted to make sure you got exalted first. Because it's like these ones, what the fuck are these here?
Greetings.
Does it show them?
Hello. Be careful.
So I need to be exalted with these before I can get their mounts. So I haven't got a choice no matter. Where when it's your normal faction, I think you've only got to be honoured. But then honoured, you will pay a little bit more for them because you won't get the full discount you will do for being revered or exalted. Fandral Fuckhelm, when I became Ragnaros's bitch.
Speak quickly, Uncle. I have heard in
Yes! Even reading the text from Fandral Staghelm, it comes across as a major dickhead. You're like, he's the kind of racial leader you want to just walk up and punch him square in his fucking face. Such an asshole. I don't know why he was running the Night Elves rather than Tyrande. I know he's technically the most senior druid after Malfurion at the time, and it has to be a druid that was in charge, and Tyrande wasn't a druid, she's a priest, so she's the high priestess. But they should have put her in charge because she was Malfurion's wife as well. It's like, it makes complete sense. Fucking putting that dickhead in charge, and then he turns traitor in fucking Cataclysm and becomes Ragnaros's new Major Domo. I know he kind of lost his way when his son got ripped in half by the Karaji from AQ. One of I think it's the second boss from AQ 20. General Rajax or something killed him. But that set him on a dark path. But it's like, he's sort of disappointed in his dad. It's like, you turned against your people because I died. Like, you're fucking stupid. Right, I'm going to leave this part of the stream here. I'm just going to take, I think, about 10 minutes, and then I'll start the stream up and I will jump on retail with you guys. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes or so.